So today's lesson is about what?
How to trade. So I'm going to talk to you about the fastest way to trade like a snake. I'm going to talk to you about the Forex profits. Bought me this Rolex. Gets like that. So before I tell you about how to trade six figures, I want to explain to you how people lose it. Fastest way to lose six figures is to do it incorrectly. And how is it normally done incorrectly? It's normally done incorrectly because you take what I want to call bad wins. So you have good wins, you have bad wins, you have good losses, bad losses. I've explained this on the channel before. Essentially, the bad win are the trades that you shouldn't be taking. They're not really within your strategy, but you find yourself in them. You've probably over risked, so maybe you risk 3% on a trade. It happens to win, you make some money, you're like, beautiful, I've got the money, I'm now trading that account. That is the fastest way for you to lose that account because you've done it incorrectly. It's almost like, think about the lotto winners. What are the lotto winners? I think it is, the stats, probably higher than this, but 70% will lose their money in like a year, a few years or something like that. There is a stat of lotto winners. They make money, there's a high chance they'll lose it. And I would almost bank on the fact that the 30% that actually keep it probably have an FA, they've got a financial advisor, they've got someone meddling with their affairs to make sure they don't lose the money. So what does that teach us? If you do something incorrectly, as in the lotto winner, it was just by chance, it was by sheer luck, you've got the money, you don't know what to do with it because you've not got any financial literacy, you haven't got the foggiest idea as to how you're going to deal with that money. Why do you think it's any different for someone as a trader that probably wants to quit their job, is not educated in finance? That's fine because most of us are not. We're not taught it in school. How do you think that you're going to keep that six figures? So I want you to shift your perspective on, it's not about you just making the money or getting to the six-figure account. It's about how are you going to keep it. And I don't mean keep it as in have this really complicated algorithm on how you invest every single penny. I'm talking about how do you put yourself in a situation where this doesn't get out of control and you're on a high up here, you've got your six-figure account, right? And then suddenly, as soon as you get it, it's like this, slow bleed like that. Before you know it, your account's gone, you're like, oh, reset, I'll just do it again. So what is the main reason why a lot of our traders are going from trading 15K account to 60K account? For example, today, which I'll announce tomorrow, another trader, we just had 3 traders passing our in-house fund recently, so they're now portfolio asset managers. We just had another person pass today, so I'll announce that tomorrow, and he has now got a 60K account. So he's a portfolio asset manager, so he has now got a PAM account, right? Portfolio asset manager, and he is trading 60 big ones, right? So 60K account. How was that done? This was done via taking a 15K assessment. He hit his 7% profit target, and now that has gone to 60K. Once that person makes 10% on the 60K, they're going to be going to 120. Let me ask you a question. Do you think you can make 17%? Let's say you've never traded our strategy before. Do you believe that you can make 17%? It's not a pie in the sky figure, is it? It's not a ridiculous number to aim for. It's not 170%. It's not 17% in 30 days where you're forced to make it in a period of time. No, this is essentially unlimited, but it's a year. You have a whole year to take that 15K account to 60K with 7% profit target. Very achievable. So there's a reason why, because of all of our processes, our support, our infrastructure is giving people the ability to do this. So I think our stat is something ridiculous, like you're 30 times, right? 30 times more likely to pass on our in-house fund versus a third-party fund. So you have to start asking questions, why? Is it by chance? Did they all just have something special, all on the right end of the sequence, all happen to just catch all of the right trades? No, I highly doubt it. It's because of the support that we offer and how we trade in the first place. And what I like about it is that it's flexible in the sense of if you did, and I'm not a big fan of scalping, right? But if you did want to scalp the market using our strategy, maybe let's say you're using, I would say, AFT, right? So these are more aggressive 5-minute entries. They're backed by the higher time frame, so you'd be using something like this, but you would do it situationally. So for example, let's say you're running, I don't know, 6% profit for example, you're up on your account. Let's say you actually are now trading 6 figures, right? In my opinion, the fastest way is to do it slowly. Fast is slow. I've said that on this channel before. If you can do things the right way, you're 17% away from a 15K account to trading 120K. Then you've got your 6 figures. You don't make your money on the 15K account. You make your money once you've got 6 figures. And if your average return is like a 5% after profit splits, etc., you're in a good position. You're probably replacing your income really quickly. So then you have to ask yourself, what is the cost of you not having the right mindset and the right strategy to not be trading 120K when that is going to give you what you actually want in the first place? So rather than chasing 7 figures and all these 30K payouts, just start with 6 figures first. So again, let's say you're up 6%, you've got profit on the table, you can afford to be more aggressive with our strategy with, let's say, an AFT entry. Beautiful. You can scale into a trade, you might then make 4% in a trade, and then guess what? You've got your 10, you take your 120 to now 240K. Suddenly, you've got best part of $250,000. You've got your $250,000 trading account. Now that's when it really starts to play ball. That's when you've had an 8% month after splits. You're in a very good position where you start making, half of your annual salary in just one payout. And that's because you invested in the right mindset training. You're doing it intentionally. I know for a fact, these traders that have got their 60K accounts, their 40K accounts, their 120K, 240, whatever the number is. These traders, they back themselves. They back themselves because they know they do it intentionally. They've journaled. If I look at their trades that they're taking, even when I see like these 60K accounts, I'm looking at them and going, right, let's look through their last 10 trades. And I'm looking at their trading plan, and you can see the correlation. Like, they're sticking to the trading plan. They're not gearing off into all these like random positions or take over trading. It's very calm, very relaxed. This is why we're building such incredible traders. We've added in 2024 millions of allocation to our in-house fund. 2025 is going to be on a completely different level because it just keeps compounding. So I'm super proud of what we've achieved. But as an example, I would recommend people to be a bit more aggressive with, let's say, an AFT entry on our strategy. Once you're in profit, don't do it when you're in drawdown trying to hit home runs. And then, for example, you want to do H4 mastery. Maybe you're someone like Quentin, for example. Quentin, he's a lorry driver, right? So he drives across Europe. He's not on his phone all the time. He can't. So he has to be really selective with the type of trades. He recently became a portfolio asset manager. So shout out to Quentin. He's absolutely crushed it. Really got on with it in the background. As an example, a H4 trade, let's say, for example, you're playing a range. This is an impulse. I'm just going to show you just roughly. Let's say you've got this and you're looking at that. This gap, looking for that gap to be filled. Let's say there's a lot of volume sat right here and someone like Quentin is going to go on a 6-hour trip, and then there's a H4 entry right here. He can use mechanical management, 90% of that. So let's say he played 90% of this range, it was roughly around here. He can set his stop above, entry in. Let's say this is a 7% take profit. In that scenario, that's what I would advise, because he's in a situation where maybe he's not going to be by the screen, he's waiting for the entry. This is what gives you flexibility. It's situational, and I think a lot of the industry have got this confused because they're obsessed with, I have to trade the session, I have to be there, I have to be glued to the screen like a robot. No, you have to be able to trade different markets, and things change. Sometimes pairs are in a horrible squeeze. Sometimes, like now, where we're in an election year, it's very aggressive. Gold's hitting all-time highs. Imagine you only traded gold, for example. You'd be finished right now, because every single time you saw a bit of a sell-off, you'd think, oh, now the big sell-off is coming, then it just doesn't. And then you're constantly taking losses after losses. So it's about being more equipped, being more well-rounded. But what I love about what we do, and this is why I believe the fastest way for you to get 6 figures is to do it slowly. And when I say slowly, that doesn't mean do it in 10 years. It just means don't take shortcuts. Because do you think the trader that comes into Falcon within a year is trading 6 figures, thinks that they've done it slowly? Absolutely not. But I can assure you this, as people try to do it faster and they've tried to force it and tried to cut corners, have not done that. Yet we've had traders come in, listened well, got on with it, applied themselves, put skin in the game, actually committed. They don't dip in and out. They're that, right, I'm here for 2024 and I'm here for the whole year. Not I'm here for a bit, then I come back, then I make some excuses. It's just bullshit. It's the committed people that understand you need skin in the game and you need to be focusing quarter by quarter, and we've got everything for you. So we train you in how to trade. We have an invested interest in you doing well, because we want the 100 million fund to be achieved, and it is going to be achieved, whether you're part of it or not. So you can have someone who's getting a big slice of that pie, or you can be watching from the outside. It's entirely up to you. But I just wanted to give you guys that overview as to how I genuinely believe the quickest way for you to trade six figures, quit your job, or do what you want to do is to ask yourself a really important question. Am I taking shortcuts or not? Does my system allow me to trade multiple markets or not? Am I glued to the screen or am I chasing it? Or have I forced a timeline in my head of like, I have to be making money by now because there's family pressures, or are you just suffering with excruciating self-doubt where you've got such a lack of belief in yourself, you don't know if it's possible in the first place. So you're just coasting through in hope that you can just catch this one trade here and there and it's all going to work out and it's going to solve all of your problems. You ask those questions, but I can assure you this, your life will be determined by the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. If you do not get good at asking the right questions, you're going to be in this industry in the rabbit hole. You're going to be following the wrong type of people that are just going to lead you down the garden path to absolutely nowhere.